Mercedes-Benz GLC43 AMG. More power, more equipment, more driving pleasure. The new Mercedes-AMG GLC replaces its highly successful predecessor with a host of innovations. The performance SUV is available in two performance levels and trim levels, as the entry-level model GLC43 4MATIC and as the first performance hybrid SUV GLC43 SE Performance. The Mercedes-AMG GLC SUV is an absolute success with our customers. Our two versions with different characters for the sporty urban lifestyle are superior all-rounders and precisely tailored to individual customer wishes. With the e-Performance drive in the GLC43S, we are also launching the first performance hybrid SUV. The all-wheel drive system, the active rear axle steering and the quick-shifting transmission enhance the emotionally appealing hallmark AMG driving experience. Michael Skibb, CEO of Mercedes-AMG GmbH and head of business units Mercedes-Benz G-Class and Mercedes-Maybach. In the GLC43 4MATIC, the AMG 2.0-liter four-cylinder engine with electric exhaust gas turbocharger produces 310 kilowatts, 421 HP, and has an additional boost of 10 kilowatts, 14 HP, via the belt-driven starter generator in the lower speed range. The standard rear axle steering, the AMG Performance 4MATIC permanent all-wheel drive with rear-biased torque distribution, the AMG SpeedShift MCT 9G transmission with wet start-off clutch and the AMG Ride Control suspension with adaptive damping system also contribute to the dynamic driving experience. The hybrid powertrain exclusive to Mercedes-AMG in the GLC43 SE Performance is a technical masterpiece. It combines the AMG 2.0-liter turbo engine with an electric drive unit, EDU, on the rear axle for an exhilarating driving experience with high efficiency. In addition to the clearly noticeable thrust, the independent hybrid layout also ensures a balanced weight distribution, benefiting driving dynamics and handling in equal measure. The immediate response of the electric drive on the rear axle, the fast torque build-up and the rapid power delivery are very special features. Depending on the drive program and driving conditions, the electric motor boosts power and torque according to the situation, thus conveying either a particularly comfortable or a performance-oriented driving experience. Electric-only mode is also possible. The electric powertrain and the high-performance battery with 400 volts are AMG exclusive in-house developments. Just like in Formula One trademark, the battery is specifically designed for fast power output and draw with innovative direct cooling of the cells. The combined system output is 500 kilowatts, 680 HP, the combined maximum system torque 1020 nanometers. Another highlight is the fully variable AMG Performance 4MATIC plus all-wheel drive for even more driving pleasure. Added to this is the standard active rear axle steering, which combines agility and stability. Characteristic AMG elements for the exterior and interior ensure a sporty, refined appearance. On the outside and inside, numerous AMG-specific details underscore the dynamic and high-quality character of the new Mercedes-AMG GLC variants in equal measure. In the exterior design, these include the AMG-specific radiator grille with vertical struts and the AMG front apron with flicks, sporty air intakes and chrome-plated trim element. Flicks, large inlets, and air curtains direct the airflow specifically to the various functions. Harmoniously integrated side sill panels, the diffuser look rear apron, GLC43, or additional diffuser board, GLC63S, and the two twin tailpipe trims, round on the GLC43, trapezoidal on the GLC63S, round off the design. In the interior, AMG seats in Art Deco man-made leather/microcut AMG microfiber with distinctive graphics and upholstery add a sporty touch. Optional leather and Napa leather upholstery with embossed AMG crest in the front head restraints is available. The AMG Performance seats are also available as an option. The AMG Performance steering wheel in Napa leather, GLC43, or Napa leather/microcut microfiber, GLC63S, is also fitted as standard. It is flattened at the bottom, perforated in the grip area and equipped with silver-colored aluminum gearshift paddles. The two round AMG steering wheel buttons allow fast and unerring operation of various dynamic driving functions and of the AMG Dynamic Select drive programs. The sporty luxurious atmosphere is rounded off by AMG Sports pedals, AMG floor mats and illuminated door sill panels with AMG lettering. The MBUX infotainment system includes various AMG-specific displays and functions. These include special displays in the instrument cluster, on the portrait orientation multimedia central display in the center console and on the optional head-up display. The AMG exclusive Supersport style offers the option of displaying various contents via a vertical structure. This includes a setup menu that displays the current settings of the suspension or transmission. In addition, the driver can have a navigation map or consumption data displayed in Supersport style. Also integrated is AMG Track Pace, standard in the GLC43S, optional for the GLC43, the data logger for use on the racetrack. The software records more than 80 vehicle-specific data such as speed, acceleration, and steering angle 10 times per second while driving around a racetrack. Also informative are the display of lap and sector times as well as additional training and analysis tools. AMG 2.0-liter 4-cylinder with electric exhaust gas turbocharger. At the heart of the new Mercedes-AMG GLC models is the AMG 2.0-liter 4-cylinder engine, which combines innovative technologies and high performance with exemplary efficiency. The power unit remains true to a tradition typical of the brand. Not only was it developed entirely at the company's Affelturbeck site, but it is also installed there in accordance with the one-man, one-engine principle. In doing so, Mercedes-AMG combines the craftsmanship of its highly qualified employees with the latest production methods of Industry 4.0 and a high degree of digitalization. The M139L engine, as it is known internally, L for longitudinal installation, is the only production engine in the world to date that is turbocharged with an electric exhaust gas turbocharger. The system is a direct derivative of the technology that the Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 trademark team has been using successfully in the premier class of motorsport for many years. The new form of turbocharging guarantees particularly spontaneous response across the entire rev range. This leads to an even more dynamic driving experience, while at the same time increasing efficiency. The functional principle of the electric exhaust gas turbocharger in detail. An electric motor around 4 cm thin is integrated directly on the turbocharger shaft between the turbine wheel on the exhaust side and the compressor wheel on the intake side. This directly drives the shaft of the turbocharger and is electronically controlled, accelerating the compressor wheel before the exhaust gas flow takes over the drive conventionally. This significantly improves the response directly from idle speed and across the entire rev range. The combustion engine responds even more spontaneously to accelerator pedal input, while the entire driving feel is significantly more dynamic. In addition, the electrification of the turbocharger allows higher torque at low revs. This also increases agility and optimizes acceleration from a standstill. Even when the driver lifts off the accelerator or brakes, the technology is able to maintain boost pressure at all times. This ensures a continuously direct response. Powered by the 48-volt onboard electrical system, the electric exhaust gas turbocharger operates at speeds of up to 175,000 rpm, which enables a very high airflow rate. The turbocharger, electric motor, and power electronics are connected to the combustion engine's cooling circuit to create an optimal temperature environment at all times. Compared to the GLC43, however, the turbocharger in the GLC43S is significantly larger. This delivers a higher airflow rate and thus more power. In addition, the integrated electric motor is driven by the 400-volt high-voltage system. The closed-deck design of the M139L ensures high rigidity at low weight. This enables peak combustion pressures of up to 160 bar. The areas around the cylinders are largely closed, and the cover plate is only pierced by smaller channels for the coolant and engine oil. Another outstanding feature of the engine is the two-stage petrol injection. In the first stage, particularly fast and precise piezo injectors deliver the fuel into the combustion chambers at pressures of up to 200 bar. The second stage adds intake manifold duct injection with solenoid valves, which is needed to achieve the engine's high specific power output. 310 kilowatts, 421 HP, output and 500 nanometers torque enable sporty driving performance. In the 2.0-liter 4-cylinder inline engine, the innovative technology helps the Mercedes-AMG GLC43 4MATIC to achieve a rated output of 310 kilowatts, 421 HP, at 6,750 rpm. The maximum torque of 500 nm is available at 5,000 rpm. Depending on the situation, the system also briefly provides an additional boost of 10 kilowatts, 14 HP, by the belt-driven starter generator, BSG. The second generation RSG acts as a mild hybrid, providing this temporary power boost as well as functions such as gliding and recuperation for maximum efficiency. At the same time, the 48-volt technology also increases comfort, as the transitions between the start/stop function and the gliding mode function are almost imperceptible. The GLC43 4MATIC accelerates from a standstill to 100 km per hour in 4.8 seconds. The top speed is electronically limited to 250 km per hour. E-Performance Hybrid with 500 kilowatts, 680 HP, system output and up to 1020 nm system torque. In the GLC43's E-Performance, the M139L produces 350 kilowatts, 476 HP, at 6,725 rpm. This makes it the most powerful series-produced four-cylinder engine in the world. The maximum combustion engine torque of 545 nm is available at 50 to 5,500 rpm. In the Performance Hybrid, the 2.0-liter engine is combined with a permanently excited synchronous electric motor, a high-performance battery developed in Affelturbach, and the fully variable AMG Performance 4MATIC Plus all-wheel drive system. The system output of 500 kilowatts, 680 HP, and the maximum system torque of 1020 nm enable impressive driving performance. Acceleration from standstill to 100 km per hour takes just 3.5 seconds and only ends at an electronically governed 275 km per hour. The 150 kilowatts, 204 HP, electric motor is positioned at the rear axle, where it is integrated with an electrically shifted two-speed transmission and the electronically controlled limited-slip rear differential in a compact electric drive unit, EDU. Experts refer to this layout as a P3 hybrid. The lightweight high-performance battery is also located in the rear above the rear axle. This compact design has numerous advantages. The electric motor acts directly on the rear axle and can therefore convert its power more directly into propulsion, for that extra boost when moving off, accelerating or overtaking. The inherent design of the electric motor means that its power can kick in straight away at full torque, making particularly agile starting possible. In addition, the driver immediately experiences a noticeable performance increase thanks to the integrated, electronically controlled limited-slip rear differential. The hybrid model accelerates out of bends with great agility. If slip occurs at the rear axle, the drive power of the electric motor is also transferred to the front wheels as needed for more traction. The mechanical connection of the fully variable all-wheel drive makes this possible by means of the propeller shaft and drive shafts of the front wheels. The positioning at the rear axle improves the weight and axle load distribution in the vehicle. This forms the basis for the compelling handling. The AMG concept offers very high recuperation efficiency, as the system allows only minimal mechanical and hydraulic losses from the engine and transmission. The automated two-speed transmission at the rear axle with its specially calibrated gear ratio ensures the spread from high wheel torque for agile starting to safe continuous output at higher speeds. An electric actuator engages second gear at around 140 km per hour at the latest, which corresponds to the electric motor's maximum speed of around 13,500 rpm. With the increase in performance due to the additional electric motor, the development team was also able to improve the efficiency of the entire vehicle in parallel, and achieve lower emissions as well as lower consumption. Inspired by Formula One trademark, developed in Affelturbach, the AMG high-performance battery. The development of the lithium-ion energy storage system is inspired by technologies proven in the Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 team's Formula One trademark hybrid racing cars. In the course of the development, the experts from the Formula One trademark engine shop High Performance Powertrains, HPP, in Brixworth exchanged ideas intensively with Mercedes-AMG in Affelturbach. The AMG high-performance battery combines high power that can be called up frequently in succession with low weight to increase the overall performance of the vehicle. Added to this are the fast energy draw and the high power density. This means that during a brisk drive in hilly terrain, for example, Drivers can immediately call on the full power potential on uphill stretches, while recuperation is strong when driving downhill. 80 kilowatts continuous output and 150 kilowatts peak output. The high-performance battery in the GLC43 SE Performance offers a capacity of 6.1 kilowatt-hour, 80 kilowatts continuous power and 150 kilowatts peak power for 10 seconds. Charging takes place via recuperation or the installed 3.7 kilowatts onboard charger with alternating current at a charging station, wall box, or household socket. The battery is designed for fast power delivery and draw, not for the longest possible range. Nevertheless, the electric range of 12 kilometers allows a practical activity radius, for example for quiet and all-electric driving from the residential area to the outskirts of the city or to the motorway. The continual push for innovation, direct cooling of the battery cells. The basis for the high performance of the AMG 400-volt battery is its innovative direct cooling system. For the first time, a high-tech coolant based on an electrically non-conductive liquid flows around all 560 cells and cools them individually. Every battery needs a defined temperature for optimum power delivery. If the energy storage unit gets too cold or too hot, it temporarily loses noticeable power or has to be turned down in order not to be damaged if the temperature level is too high. The consistent temperature of the battery therefore has a decisive influence on its performance, service life, and safety. The AMG system is designed to ensure even heat distribution in the battery. The battery is always within a consistent, optimum operating temperature window averaging 45 degrees Celsius, no matter how often it is charged or discharged. It may well be that the average temperature is exceeded when driving at high speeds. The protection mechanisms are therefore set in such a way that the maximum power can be drawn from the battery in order to subsequently lower the temperature level again through direct cooling. Operating strategy: electric power always available. The basic operating strategy is derived from the hybrid power pack of the Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula 1 racing car. As in the top class of motorsport, maximum propulsion is always available when the driver calls it up by kickdown, to accelerate powerfully out of corners or to overtake quickly. The electric power can always be called on and frequently reproduced via high recuperation performance and needs-based recharging. Performance hybrid drive can control the traction of one wheel. The control of vehicle dynamics also benefits from the hybrid drive. Instead of braking intervention by ESP registered, the electric motor can also control traction as soon as a wheel signals too much slip. To achieve this, the intelligent control system reduces the drive torque of the electric motor, which is transmitted to the wheel via the limited slip rear differential. The result is that ESP registered does not have to intervene at all, or only later. Advantage: the combustion engine can thus be operated at a higher torque. This improves agility afterwards and increases efficiency. In addition, the power otherwise destroyed during braking can be used to charge the battery. AMG SpeedShift MCT9G transmission with wet start-off clutch. The power is transmitted in both Mercedes-AMG GLC models via the AMG SpeedShift MCT9G transmission, MCT equals multi-clutch transmission, in which a wet start-off clutch replaces the torque converter. It reduces weight and, thanks to its lower inertia, optimizes response to accelerator pedal input, especially during spurts and load changes. The elaborately calibrated software ensures extremely short shift times as well as fast multiple downshifts if required. In addition, the double declutching function in the Sport and Sport Plus drive programs delivers a particularly expressive shifting experience. There is also the race start function, which ensures optimal acceleration from a standstill. The Eco Start/Stop function is automatically activated in the Comfort Drive program. The Glide function can be activated in individual mode. In the GLC43, the AMG Performance 4MATIC all-wheel drive features a permanent power distribution between the front and rear axles of 31 to 69%. The rear-biased configuration provides for enhanced dynamic handling, including higher lateral acceleration and improved traction when accelerating. In the GLC63S, the AMG Performance 4MATIC Plus fully variable all-wheel drive transmits the drive power to the road. The engine torque can be allocated continuously and as required from 50/50ths between the front and rear axles up to 100% to the rear. AMG Dynamics, a standard component of the AMG Dynamic Select Drive program selection. The AMG Dynamic Select Drive programs, 5 for the GLC43, 8 for the GLC63S, enable a wide range of vehicle characteristics from comfortable to dynamic. The distinct driving modes offer an individual driving experience, precisely tailored to different driving conditions. The integrated AMG Dynamics Driving Dynamics Control System is added as part of the AMG Dynamic Select Drive programs. This enhances the stabilizing functions of the Electronic Stability Program ESP registered with interventions to add agility to the steering characteristics and additional ESP registered functions. When cornering at speed, for example, brief braking intervention at the inner rear wheel generates a defined yawing moment around the vertical axis for responsive and precise turn-in. The extent and efficiency of these interventions depend on the AMG Dynamic Select program selected, whereby the driver can determine the setup in individual model. The ESP registered can be adjusted in 3 stages. On is the standard selection that offers high safety, adapted to the sporty character of the overall vehicle. Sport, on the other hand, allows higher drift angles, while off allows the system to be switched off completely for a particularly sporty driving style on closed-off race tracks. AMG Ride Control Suspension with Adaptive Damping System. Both models are equipped with the AMG Ride Control Steel Spring Suspension with Adaptive Damping System. It combines sporty driving dynamics with high long-distance comfort. The basis for this is provided by the front axle, with specially developed steering knuckles and suspension joints on the spring control arm, and by the rear axle, which also features elastokinematics designed for driving dynamics. Complementing this, the adaptive damping system continuously adapts the damping at each individual wheel to the current demand, always taking into account the pre-selected suspension level, the driving style and the condition of the road surface. In addition to an improvement in ride quality and comfort, this leads, above all, to an increase in driving safety. There is a choice of 3 different damping maps: Comfort, Sport, and Sport Plus. Active roll stabilization as standard on the GLC43 e-Performance. Another feature makes a decisive contribution to the AMG-specific setup for high driving dynamics: AMG Active Ride Control Active Roll Stabilization as standard in the GLC43 e-Performance. Instead of using conventional, rigid anti-roll bars, the system compensates body movements electromechanically. For this purpose, the anti-roll bars on the front and rear axles are divided into 2 parts. In the center is an electromechanical actuator in which a 3-stage planetary gear is integrated. When the road surface is uneven or the driving style is moderate, the actuator actively separates the stabilizer halves, which increases driving comfort. During dynamic use, for example on a winding road, the halves join together and are twisted against each other. Moreover, the system not only reduces rolling movements when cornering, but also allows more precise tuning of the steering and load cycle behavior. In addition, it increases ride comfort when driving in a straight line because stimuli by one-sided road bumps are balanced out. For example, movements in the body can be actively and optimally adjusted to the driving conditions. This allows the driver to experience the hallmark AMG driving characteristics in terms of dynamics, precision, and feedback even more intensively. To meet the high power requirements, the system is based on an additional 48-volt onboard subnetwork. Another benefit compared with the usual hydraulic-based systems is the significantly faster response. Added to this is the lower weight of the components compared to hydraulic solutions. 3-stage AMG speed-sensitive steering and standard rear axle steering. The steering layout of the Mercedes-AMG GLC models contributes equally to the increase in dynamics and comfort. The 3-stage AMG speed-sensitive steering system, for example, features a variable steering geometry ratio that adapts to the selected drive program. At high speeds, the steering power assistance decreases; at low speeds it is steadily increased. As a result, comparatively little steering effort is required at low speeds, as well as when maneuvering and parking, while the best possible control over the vehicle is maintained when driving faster. In the Sport and Sport Plus suspension settings, the driver also experiences significantly more feedback about the driving conditions via the steering wheel. Active rear axle steering is also on board as standard. It operates with a maximum steering angle of 2.5 degrees. Up to this point, the rear wheels turn in the opposite direction to the front wheels at speeds of up to 100 km per hour, variable depending on the AMG dynamics setting. This leads to a virtual shortening of the wheelbase, which in turn results in significantly more agile turn-in, less steering effort and improved maneuverability. For example, the turning circle is noticeably reduced when turning or parking. At speeds above 100 km per hour, variable depending on the AMG dynamics setting, on the other hand, the rear wheels turn in parallel to the front wheels, up to a maximum of 0.7 degrees. This virtual extension of the wheelbase has a positive effect on driving stability, leads to a faster buildup of lateral force when changing direction and thus to a more direct reaction of the vehicle to steering commands. The response of the rear axle steering depends on the selected AMG Dynamic Select driving mode. AMG Sports Braking System and AMG Exhaust System with Sporty Engine Sound. The AMG Sports Brake System in the GLC43 guarantees outstanding deceleration values and optimum control. Internally ventilated and perforated brake discs measuring 370 x 36 mm with 4-piston fixed calipers are fitted to the front axle and 360 x 26 mm with 1-piston floating calipers to the rear. In keeping with the extreme power values and the associated performance, the AMG high-performance composite brake system with 6-piston fixed calipers at the front, internally ventilated and perforated brake discs 390 x 36 mm, and 1-piston floating calipers at the rear, internally ventilated and perforated brake discs 370 x 26 mm, comes as standard on the GLC43S. The brake system impresses with very short braking distances as well as maximum stability and fade resistance under heavy use. In addition, it scores with a long service life and a particularly fast response. Numerous equipment packages make the Mercedes-AMG GLC SUV models even more individual. The AMG Exterior Night Package I includes the painted exterior mirror housings in high-gloss black, the inlays in the AMG side sill trims, the Schuderline trim strip, the window surrounds and the trim strip in the rear bumper. Added to this are heat-insulating dark-tinted glass from the B-pillar and the 2 black chrome-plated twin tailpipe trims of the AMG exhaust system. With the AMG Night Package Exterior 2, dark chrome is added, the fins of the radiator grille in dark chrome as well as the model badges on the wings and on the rear, including the star at the rear. The AMG Carbon Exterior Package I includes elements in high-quality visible carbon for the A-wing of the AMG front apron, the inserts of the AMG side sill panels and the trim strip in the AMG rear apron. The AMG Styling Package makes the GLC43 look even sportier, the front splitter in high-gloss black with flicks on the sides and the rear diffuser with diffuser board are visual borrowings from Motorsport. Furthermore, there are additional flicks for the air outlets in the rear apron in high-gloss black. Edition 1 at market launch. The GLC43 SE Performance can be ordered as an exclusive edition 1 in the exterior colors Graphite Grey Magno or High-Tech Silver Magno for 1 year from its market launch. A charcoal Magno car film visually stretches the vehicle's sides. The 21-inch AMG forged wheels in cross-spoke design are finished in matte black. The rim flanges with high sheen finish provide an attractive contrast. This also applies to the yellow painted brake calipers of the AMG high-performance composite brake system. The AMG Aerodynamics package enhances the dynamic visual impression. The aerodynamic elements include the larger front splitter in high-gloss black with flicks on the sides, the AMG Performance Airflow breakaway edge in body color and additional flicks for the air outlets in the rear apron in high-gloss black. The AMG Exterior Night Package I and the AMG Exterior Night Package 2 are also on board. The AMG Fuel Filler Cap in silver chrome with AMG lettering emphasizes the special status of the edition. The interior is characterized by the contrast of black and yellow. The AMG Performance seats are particularly refined with upholstery in black exclusive Napa leather with yellow decorative top stitching and Edition 1 logos in the front head restraints. They follow the sporty look just like the seat belts in yellow and the exclusive AMG trim elements carbon with yellow thread. The AMG Performance steering wheel in Napa leather / Dinamica microfiber with yellow decorative top stitching and the AMG door sill panels with yellow illuminated AMG lettering are a perfect match. The finishing touches are the exclusive edition badge in the interior and specific AMG floor mats with yellow decorative top stitching and Edition 1 labeling. To protect the valuable vehicle, each customer receives a customized AMG indoor car cover with Edition 1 logo. With its breathable outer paneling made of tear-resistant synthetic fiber fabric and anti-static inner fabric made of flannel, It protects the vehicle in the garage from dust and scratches.